Let us take a brief look at the latest capability that has been added to AlterAI, and that is called Omni. It's not upcoming, but it's actually live. So we go to the main board, and there has been changes. There has been some changes here. There's a direct link to the Omni dashboard. This is the main board where you have the features. We have the top five, which has already been presented in previous videos alongside the other ones. I've devoted an entire video to the business idea plus plan feature, as well as the explain complex text features, so you might want to check them out to actually understand how they work. Then we have the top five, the explain quote, and the how to. So for example, learn how to learn piano fast, or how to whatever you want, how to become leaner, in 30 days or less. And if we click on do, it's working and it's going to generate a unique output. Get a scale. I wouldn't say getting a scale is going to be helpful. On the contrary, I wouldn't get a scale. But anyways, you can actually look them up, and then like I said, you can watch the previous videos. Now, the Omni feature. There's an entire dashboard to the Omni feature, and I'm really excited about this feature because this actually unlocks the potential of Alter AI, maybe not 100, but 1,000-fold. And I'm not joking. As you can see here, the input is quite a little bit different. It's a multi-line input, and it's actually limited to 1,500 characters, so you have a lot of space to actually work with. Then I've also added this information button here, which is actually a notification giving you a few ideas on how to work with this feature. But of course, for the full length of features, you should go to the examples page where you learn how to best leverage this feature. Now, in this case, this is exactly what it should be provided as input. You should explain or describe what you want in natural language. And I personally have not discovered the thousands of ways that you can actually leverage this feature, because as you know, the engines behind Alter AI have been trained on hundreds of billions of pieces of text. So actually Omni knows a lot, and there are a lot of good ways to get good information out of it. You just have to know how to best describe what you want. And that's it. I don't know the many ways that you can take good information for this, whether it be it for your business purposes, for your personal purposes, for your creative purposes. I'm only going to show you a limited few, maybe 10 of them, maybe 10 ways that I've discovered. Anyways, at all times, you should know that this content is AI generated, it is not supervised, but of course, the content is filtered. So, for example, if you provide a query that might not be safe in terms of profanity, uh, it will not run and it will not give an output. Like, for example, let's say how to or list of 10 adult movies very dirty. Now, this might not lead to generation of safe or not profane content, so I think this would not actually run. Your query has been labeled unsafe or profane. So yeah, given that, though, so this is actually a safety feature, and I'm not, there is no negotiation about it. So this stays. But given this feature, there still are maybe hundreds of thousands of ways you can get good information out of it. Now, anyways, let's look at the few of them. So, for example, you could keep on leveraging the same features like the ones that are on the main board. So, in this case, let's say a list of 8 best methods, for example, to build muscle. And then you could start by giving a nudge to the engine so that it would start and actually number them. And then you have 8 of them exactly. I could run the safe query, the same query, and actually say with a short explanation for each. And in this case, I haven't provided the number. Let's see if it gives us 8 of them. It gives us 8A and 8B, heavy, weight, and high reps. 2A, super, slow weight, and low reps. Now, I could actually take the output and provide it as input some way or another if I want to make an article out of this. But if it's for personal use, I could go ahead and use AlterAI or a search engine to actually get deeper into this. Of course, you can use this for business and creative purposes. You could write a blog post. You could even write a book out of this. Now, another feature would be, for example, let's say English. The internet is full of cat videos. And then I'm going to say Spanish and then hit the do button. And this is actually not going to be taken as an input. So let's do it again. This should work as a translator. The internet is full of cats. And then Spanish. Let me just copy this. Still doesn't want to take it. Sometimes it wants, sometimes it might not. Let's just run it again. Still doesn't want to take it. What if we say it's full of dogs? Or not. Let's just say the internet. I've seen that even slight punctuation can alter the safety check. So if we do that, still doesn't want to work. If we say is full of videos about cats, of course, el internet está lleno de videos sobre gatos. This is actually a translation. So yeah, as you can see, it works not from the very first try, but it works to what it's been nudged into. So for example, let's do something else. Today I'm going to go to the cinema. Today I'm going to go to the cinema. And then Spanish. Hoy voy a ir al cine. This is perfect translation. Perfect translation. Okay, another way you could use this is to actually say, you could actually do grammar, for example. So you could say your attention has been, and I've already provided this example someplace else, has been hijacked, and then say standard American English, and this would actually provide a grammar correction of this. It should. So instead of your, it says your attention has been hijacked. And there you have it. This is sort of a grammar correction. There probably are other ways into which you would nudge the engine to give you grammar, but I haven't explored them so far. You could also do this for source code generation, like for example, the Python code for the, let's say, Fibonacci. I don't know exactly how you write Fibonacci, but hopefully this is the one, sequence. And then I would say, let's do it like that. User bin environment Python. Let's see what we get out of it. For the Fibonacci sequence. Let's do Fibonacci. So I've actually read it correctly. Fibonacci. So the Python code for Fibonacci sequence, if you run this, it actually started by adding a 3. As you can see, because I haven't provided the 3, I've only provided user bin env Python. What if we just provide US? Let's see what we get. US bin env Python 3. So it isn't user. But anyways, you get the Fibonacci, you get a function, and it starts, this function starts by, of course, it's not indented. So in this case, it would be indented, and it starts by defining a list, AB equals 0, 1, so it initializes, it sets A and B to 0 and 1, and then it runs a while loop while A smaller than N, which has been provided, Fibonacci, so you actually append to the list A, and in this case it says that AB equals B, A plus B. So it starts, so it starts with A, and then it actually updates according to the Fibonacci sequence. It updates A and B variables. So this is really interesting. You might want to explore this further. Okay. What else? There's a lot of stuff. Let's say write a poem about, I don't know, birds and cats, not, let's say, dogs, birds and TVs. Write a poem about birds and TVs. Let's see what this is going to get us. We can even say in the style of Shakespeare, even though Shakespeare was a playwright. When birds fly by, they are always on the TV. I think that they should be in real life. So this, I mean, this is a very short text generation. But what if we don't provide in the style of birds and TV, and instead, what if we say, instead of write a poem about birds, and let's just say a poem about birds. Let's see. Usually poems are, as far as I've seen, poem generation is usually very short. You could nudge this, maybe you could nudge the engine by providing an adjective. Write a lengthy poem about birds, as Robert Burns would. Let's see what we get out of this. So it seems to be taking a little bit longer. It's not formatted as a poem, but you could actually format it because every capital would be a new line. Anyway, you could also do, let's say, a list of 10 very catchy So we're providing another adjective, book title, a list of 10 very catchy book titles for, let's say, a book about penetration testing, because I'm also doing cybersecurity. It didn't want to take penetration testing, a list of 10 very catchy book titles, a list of 10 very catchy book titles for a book about pen testing. Let's see if it takes that. Should be taking it, as you can see it's working. The Complete Idiot Guides to Hacking, a beginner guide to penetration testing. The Hacker Playbook, practical guide to penetration testing. The Hacker Playbook is already out there. I'm not sure if this is the subtitle, but anyways. It works to its purpose. You could also say, write a short article, let's say 200 words. We're trying to nudge the engine to being very specific about switching, about getting into the cybersecurity field. Write a short article about getting into the cybersecurity field. It didn't actually do 200 words. We can actually do it again, maybe with multiple generations, or running or querying the engine. We could get it instead of short. I shouldn't have said short. Write an article. What if we say write an article? This is much better. I could also say write a 100-word introduction for an article titled, let's say, machine learning is going to rule the world. Write a 100-word introduction for an article titled. And as you can see, you get maybe 30 to 50 words. You can try different alterations of this and see what it gets you. You could also say unusual synonyms. For example, synonyms for devious. Unusual synonyms for devious. Dodgy, shifty, slippery, conniving, crafty. You could also do explain quantum mechanics to a third grader. Explain quantum mechanics to a third grader. Takes a while. Quite a while. I could have said in 3 sentences or in a few words. What else can we do? Let's say a list of headlines, or maybe headline ideas for artificial intelligence. And for some reason it gives us 8. What else can we do here? We can formulate it as a question. So why focus is crucial? Why focus is crucial for success in all areas of life? We can have it as a question or even with a semicolon. If we do it as a question, it's going to provide us as an answer. If we do it as a semicolon, it's going to give you like sort of a listicle, sort of like. What else can we do? So we've seen poems, we've seen what else we've seen? We've seen explaining to third graders. You could say write a story of write a story about write a story about what? About AI and cybersecurity. Okay, after this one, I'm actually I remember another one that I wanted to show you. Okay, you can read this, and the ones that I thought of, and it seems really interesting, is that you could actually get book recommendations, for example. So let's say not only book recommendations but insights from books, and I haven't actually tested this or the validity of it. But for example, let's say 8 key insights from how to win friends and influence people. So this is a book by Dale Carnegie. We could add a semicolon to actually nudge it into giving us a list. So let's see, 8 key insights from how to win friends and influence people by Dale Carnegie. Give honest and sincere appreciation. Arouse in the other people and in the other person an eager want. This is actually, yeah, so these two I can safely say that they are in the book. Talk about your own mistakes before criticizing other people. So let's provide it without semicolon. See what we get. We get a few of them. Become genuinely interested in other people's interests and problems by asking questions about their interests. Interesting. Okay, another one that I'm really excited about is you could generate unique quotes. So you could say, write a unique quote about adversity. The greatest, and it says Ralph Waldo Emerson. Let's see if this is actually something that Waldo Emerson actually said. It is. I could say, write a unique quote about adversity that has not been written before. Let's see what we get. Adversity can be a good thing because it will help you grow as a person. Now, this is not a fancy quote, but it's something that probably is unique. Seems so. Okay, what else? Yeah, and another one that I'm really excited about is I've discovered this one: the life of Isaac Newton in 100 words or less. So when I ran this, it actually gave a good output. 1642, died in 1727. What if we do so? Isaac Newton, Wikipedia, 1642. So 1642 Jeez. 1727. So it actually generated well, probably because there's a lot of stuff about Isaac Newton. Let's say in just 100 words, the life of Isaac Newton in 100 words, and we do a semicolon. Interesting. Or less with the semicolon. Every time we run this, it gives sort of a different generation. Christmas Day. Was it really? Yeah, 25 December. 1727, at the age of 84. Aged 84. Well, I wouldn't advise over doing fact checking or very factual stuff, but you could nudge this into getting factual. You could nudge AlterAI into getting very factual stuff out of it. You could also paraphrase stuff. So provide a piece of text as I've shown you with the translation feature and the paraphrase that for, I don't know, so you could provide a piece of text here and then you could say a better way to explain the text to non-technical people is, and then have the AlterAI do the magic for you. So these are only just a few of the things that you would be able to do with this new feature of AlterAI, which is called Omni, which knows a lot. So be sure to actually test it out and let me know how it works for you. And also let me know if you have any glitches or any issues, because sometimes I've noticed that it might run into glitches. All right, that's it for this one.